Okay, let's go. Let's onegaishimasu.
Onegaishimasu.
Okay, so we'll just got a little bit of loosening to start. Use the vertical. Okay, good. We'll do a little bit just for the head, and we'll work down the body a little bit. So just go to the chest, into chest, and then stretching up. And again, onto the chin, down to the chest. And up. And back to the center, and then just work the left side. Back to the center, to the right. And again, to the left. And the right. A kind of strange one. It's like a pulling the neck forward, pulling the head forward, like a kind of vulture. And then pulling it back. And then again forwards. And you kind of pointing the chin forward. It's kind of Bruce Forsyth position. And then pull it back. And then just play kind of loosely. Again, a wave just in the neck. Just forwards. You can use a little bit down as well, so kind of come into the chest, raising it up. And the main thing is this kind of wave that passes just through the neck. Good, and then just go to the sides. Here to shoulder. Here to shoulder. And again. And again. And then very, very lightly, just playing with circles. You can start with half circles if you like. To the front. You feel pretty flexible, everything's okay. Just work with very small circles. And just play a little bit with the head, looking up, looking down. And then just play with a figure of 8 movement. Just imagine the top of the skull and then drawing a figure of 8. And open it out. Let the whole body also be kind of moved. Just focusing what's on the head. Good. And then we'll go to the chest. So just pulling the chest up, forward, sinking back. Really kind of curling the back, pushing it forward. It's kind of pigeon chest, turtle back, right at the back. One more to the back. Just working the sides. Pull the spine out. The other side. And on the other side. One more. And just play with really mobilizing the chest now. You might find this easy if you've got a kind of anchor in the hands, so the hands are kind of on the just below the hips. So you've got a little bit of extra stability in the hips, and really trying to mobilize the chest. Just play a little bit, and just feel where your body wants to go, the areas you want to work a little bit more, and just a few. Good, and then we just go to the shoulders, just raise them up to the ears, drop and sink them down as much as you can. Feel the arms are kind of being dragged down. And then again, up to the top, open them out. Also, you can also play with the hands a little bit, so sometimes this position's easier to drop a little bit more. Good, and then you can roll the shoulders forward and back. Again, just play a little bit with the hands. Sometimes the position just helps. One more to the front, to the back, and then just isolating the shoulders. Try and really mobilize everything. Nice big movements. Good. And then just nice and loose, just starting. Again, you can also have that kind of hands on the hips. The key now is just see if you can you start to mobilize the shoulders a bit. The whole spine, everything's going to start to roll. And try and also emphasize as you go forward with the shoulder, also feeling that the other shoulder comes back and rolls on. Just try and really, again, mobilize all the directions, especially now the back. Just go one way and then change it. Rolling the shoulders back. Start to free the arms a little bit. And then just start to work with a kind of figure of eight movement with the arms. Very light. And in this case, kind of activating in a way the elbow. So think about now connecting the elbow into the upper body. Let the shoulder fall back and down. Just let it follow the body. Try and just feel the connections in the body, in the spine, in the lower back to the elbows. So try and really feel that there. Just notice the kind of connections you've got in the body. Good. And just mobilizing the hands, the wrists. Just rolling. You can go one way, go the other. And just start to take it to this one. So you kind of imagine you've got a ball in the hands. You just kind of roll everything through. And the feeling in this now is that the spine really just connecting into the hands. So feel this whole kind of upper body now. The spine, the lower back, the shoulders, everything's just working through the hands now. That's it. Do this nice and slow. If you feel like it, you can just start to make it a little bit more fluid. This is a little bit like when we do the sword work, we do these kind of slices this way. Just basically start with a kind of horizontal. This nice basic connection. And now just start to basically turn into a figure of eight movement. Now the hips, everything's going to start to be involved. Just let everything become mobilize. Actually, now the hips. Good. Good. Okay, we'll just go specific to the hips. So just pull the hips, kind of tuck them forward, tuck the pelvis, and then tilt it forwards. You might find it's easier to have the hands on the hips just so you can kind of feel. And then again, tuck the tailbone. And then tilt forwards. And then kind of a straight one, pull one hip up, sink the other. And sink it, pull one hip up. And really feel that this movement, this is quite easy to do, kind of lift the leg up, but really feel that the foot gets kind of drawn out by the hip, kind of pulling it up. Quite a tricky movement, but really useful to kind of mobilize this area. And one more, just pull it up. Good, and just playing with the hips. Let's start with a big circle. Again, you can use the hands on the hips just so you can kind of feel what's going on. And go as big as you can. So the hips are kind of touching the edge of a big circle in front of the body. Big hula hoop around the body. And just feel that moment when the hips, or when you pass from one hip into the other, joins and then into the other hip. Big movement in both directions. And then just work the hips now fully in the figure of 8. This way. Just mobilizing. Good. Okay, just go down to the knees. Just working small circles. Just press them back a little bit. Stretch through the back of the knees. Drop down. And back up. One more time, just stretch through the back of the knees. Down. And back up. Good. We're just working the legs, so just one foot down, really mobilize the ankle. And sink most of the weight into the other leg, just so you can really mobilize. Work the toes, work the ankle. You can have the toes kind of folded forward, or you can kind of fold them underneath. If you're quite careful with the toes. Just off the ground, just circling in both directions. And change. Just play a little bit with the toes. You can fold them over a little bit. And then off the ground, just circling. Nice and loose, just with the leg, kind of swinging forward. Mobilize the whole hip. Makes you feel a little bit like jelly. It's kind of very loose. And again, pretty flexible, just throw the leg back a little bit more. Open up this whole space to the back. Let the leg come up. And feel the hip just opens more and more, just allows more movement, more fluidity. Good. And then just over to the side and out to the side and over the front. If you struggle a little bit with the balance in this one, you can use a wall, or you can also use a JO. Just try without. And the last one, just rolling the knee up, open the hip. Up, away, up, away. Yeah, just shake it out and then go to the other side, just swinging. And once you feel stable, just start to open the movement out a little bit more. To the front. And then over to the sides, cross the body and out. Dunk. Oi, 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 oi. And the last one, just rolling. Oh, hang on, man. Wow. Okay, just shake the legs out. And we'll just go to the whole body. So the last one, just this kind of big spinal wave. Imagine really the front of the body. Imagine you kind of dissect the body in half, like right down the spine forwards. Imagine you're really pressing the body out through that line. So just imagine the whole body from the center line. And you're going to press out, roll back. And if you like, you can start by just exploring the extremes. All the way back, curving forward. And then just press everything from in between. You can make it small, you can make it big, you can kind of pulse through it, just explore a little bit. Using the movement. Just kind of energize the whole body. Include the arms in the movement. If you like, start to include much more the knees, the legs, maybe coming to the ground with the hands. Good. Okay, I'm just shaking my hands. Shake the toes, the feet. And just let the arms roll. Shaking the whole body. Feel the feet settle into the ground. Start to drop the whole way through the ground. Feel the body centering, stacking through the whole system. And just make it smaller, smaller, become more still. And there. Okay, just take a jog. A little bit. Jog. Good. Just do some mobilizing exercises. This is specific for the shoulder using the JO. So the first one, just take the JO both sides in the end. Just let the body settle down, drop into the feet, center's nice and stable, and then just raising up over the head. And then as much as you can, just start to drop below, back over the head. And try and open the shoulders out. Do this nice and slow. Let it come all the way down. If you can, touch the back. Just hold it a little bit, just feel it. And then just open it out real slow. Real slow. The key thing in this one is try and avoid doing these kind of things where basically one shoulder does it. Just try and see if you can get both. Just coming over. Back to the center. And just one more. Go over. Take it nice and slow. That's all the way back. Touching the spine. Again over. Up. Over. Good. Just bring the hands in, basically so they're kind of hip width apart, shoulder width. The same thing, you're not going to come over the back now, just stretch up. Up. And just stretch up through the shoulders. Just up. And down. Up. And then from this position in the center, just start to roll the body over, just to one side. Imagine a little bit this hand's kind of hanging on, and this hand's kind of pulling the body out. So really kind of pulling this whole side of the body. And then release it back to the center, and go to the other side. Imagine the whole side of the body gets kind of pulled out of the ground. Good. Okay, just come to the front. Just put both hands now on the right at the center of the jaw. You're going to do now from the center this with the hands. So you're going to kind of wring out the hands, stretch out, and release. And just play a little bit with it, just in your own time. Wringing out the arms, stretching back. And the focus in this case is not really the hands, but it's the shoulders. So really feel that you're going to expand and open the shoulders. You do it there. And just use the jaw as a kind of focus point. Try and really open the shoulders out. Just a few. Just release it. Good. Just come out to the sides like this. Put it kind of shoulder width apart again, maybe a little bit wider. And again, all I want you to do is just have the hands kind of extended out. You're going to draw the jaw back. And again, the focus is on mobilizing the shoulders. But in this case, just fully kind of hold it. So you come out, roll back, and then really feel the shoulders can mobilize. And then just alternate between kind of extending out. It's quite a small movement. Keep the arms straight-ish, not fully locked out, but just again trying to mobilize the shoulders. Very small movement, but very, very crucial. One more. Good. And the last one, just working out from the outside of the jaw. You're going to press the hands in. And again, the focus is not really on the hands, but on the shoulders. So feel as you do it, you're going to press the hands in fully. And then release it. And then work the hands in a bit more to the center. Pull. Actually press in. And then release it. Take the hands in one more. Press in. Release it. And really feel the shoulders. What I'm looking for in this kind of exercise, this is very easy to do this and basically activate the pecs and everything. But really start to feel if you can drop everything. Shoulders stay down and basically the back of the body kind of locks in. And the feeling is that the hands are moving towards the center. So they're kind of compressing towards the center. And just work all the way down the jaw. Again, it's a very simple exercise, but it really activates really the whole body doing it. Really the shoulders. Press in one more time. And the hands right together. Press in. And then you're going to do the opposite. So you're going to work the hands away. So this time the feeling is that the hands are going to be pulling out. So just work again the center. Again, really activate the core, the shoulders. And then again, drop it. Change the hands. Drop it. A little bit wider. Drop it. A little bit wider. Drop it. A little bit wider. And a little bit wider. A little bit wider. Yeah, and the last one, just on the ends, pull it apart. Yeah, okay, good. Very good. Okay, so just to kind of loosen the arms out, just working with this, figure of 8, keep it very loose, shoulders down. You should hopefully feel the shoulders a bit more. And then just, this is very similar to these warm-up exercises, but just trying to get now the whole upper body, but the hands basically really connecting to the, really hold the upper body acting as one. Very mobile. And the lower body really just settling, mobilizing through the hips. Feel the legs heavy, heavy, heavy. As if you're kind of standing in kind of a foot of mud. So you're in a kind of swamp with the feet. The feet just get kind of sunk down. Really mobilize the upper body. Good. And then just try going in the other direction. We'll go straight into it. You're going to change now this way. Change under knee. Release it towards the ground. Release it towards the ground. So in this case, you change the back of the wrist. And you're going to now go in the opposite direction. So the tip of the jaw is being released down. 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 If you get stuck with this, just go back to the other one. It might be a bit complicated. And again, the key thing with this is trying to link the handwork to the core. If you feel pretty comfortable, just start to open it out. And that's good. And then just moving the body. Start with this basic stepping forwards, backwards. And really feel that the feet are really going to connect into the ground. And really feel now there's a kind of chain that's happening between the footwork through the hip and out through the hand. So really feel something quite be very connected to the ground now. Something comes out of the ground. Good. Also go the other way if you like. A little bit more complex. Just keep the feet moving. Good. Good. And then start to include this backwards turn, just so you can really start to use rotating movements. So just use it kind of intermittently between changing. And the key now is just imagine the jaws doesn't stop. So feel the center now is constantly active through the hands And that translates straight into the JO work. So. Good. Good, just keep going and just start to basically activate the lower body a little bit more. So maybe include a little bit movements where you're kind of dropping the hips down into the knees. Especially these kind of movements, very nice for the whole body to kind of be involved in. This, as you come over the back, you can also feel that you can drop the body through. Just play with it. Opening out the lower body movements. Yeah. Also feel that you can keep to just one hand. That's it. Good. Very nice. Great. Nice, nice, nice. Great. Okay, so we'll look at the kata we've not looked at for a very long time. This is the 31. So we'll just start with the first 5 movements, just nice and slow, working from JO KATA. You're just going to come in. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very calm. Just, and again, work on this very similar to the thing we looked at yesterday, which is this idea of stillness. Straight into motion. So really use the basic form. Really look for stillness. All the way through. Keep it full feeling all the time. Good. Good. Just look at this one movement. I'm just going to use a shorter stick because of the ceiling, but there's a tendency, I think also because we're working with lower ceiling, to kind of crunch this movement forward. It actually happens in the dojo anyway when you've got big vaulted ceilings, but in a sense, just focus on this movement here, drawing up, and really feel that the body kind of centralizes. And then this move, rather than it happening here, in kind of the front of the face, really feel that you expand and open it out to the top. It's kind of this kind of feel. So really feel that movement's got much more space in the vertical. Just play with that. This And then open that out. Feel the whole movement just aligns straight through the spine. And it's got a sense of real kind of expansion. It's very easy in this set to kind of do everything crunch through. But just see, you can open it out a little bit more. Let's give it a try. That's it. That's it. Nice, nice, nice. Right. Great. Okay, we'll just start from this position 5. So you're in the right side hammer. You're going to step on the left, cut down Yokomanuchi, and then roll to the back. Right side strike, left side Yokomanuchi, and then from here you've got this big Barai movement right to the back. And we'll just go to that position. It's a nice move just to finish. So starting number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, just go to 9. So. H. O. H. Nice. Nice.
And Michael, can I ask a question on these strikes? Is the JO coming when you step through right up and down, or is it opening like round the body there?
Yeah, more like this way. So in this case, think like when we do number 5 with the pocket. So in this case, they're going to come just above the head, just in that position. So in this case, these are really kind of Yokomen strikes. So rather than this way.
Yes.
When you turn is a kind of showman. So when you turn, I'll show from this way. This one's a Yokomen, this way, and then as you turn, this one's straight through the body. This way. This one's a Yokomen, this way. But that movement when you step in advance is going to be this. So allowing the JO to kind of move circular that way. And these are just in terms of the 31, you're kind of moving slightly off the line. So in this position, on the kind of right side, and then here slightly off to the left, this way, rolling to the back, and then slightly off to the left, and then this will roll through that way. Yeah, so these use this kind of circular movement.
Good, thank you.
Great. Nice. Good, and then just work on this sequence. So starting from the left side, we'll do now 9, 10, 11. Just come back into the posture. So it goes like this: 9, 10, 11. Engage the hips through, and then just drop back into the kamae. So it goes like this: 1, 2. You feel the body, everything settles down. And then 3, and then just come back. It's a pretty nice short sequence. Yeah, I can do it with my JO. See, Oh. Whoosh. So. Okay, good. Good. And everyone's got the movement. So just really, we usually talk about kind of mobilizing the hip work. In this case, really think about the whole kind of spine. So the kind of whole core and the back of the body. Really, this is really clear when we do movements like rotadori, but there's really a feeling that the whole upper body has this kind of spinal, there's a kind of wave which passes through it. Now I can obviously do rotadori in a kind of power way. Do this kind of thing and work kind of linearly. And it works a little bit the same with the JO. So I can use in a way the body in a kind of linear, kind of power way, but I can use the body in a slightly different way, which is much more supple. So it has a much more suppleness, which basically means I mobilize the upper body much more. So really think in terms of, you can think in terms of spirals, but it's actually easier to think, for me it's easier to think of a wave, the kind of elastic quality through the upper body. There. And then from here it's the same. Something's kind of mobile through the upper body. And here. So take this, the easiest way to do this is very light and not focusing on the strikes. So just focus on the kind of quality of the movement. And it's basically how I come into the movement. So it's really now about mobilizing the spine in the center, keeping the lower body very heavy. And that basically means I can start to mobilize much more the upper body. So just try it a little bit. Can go really slow and light, but just feel that kind of, all these kind of upper body mobility exercises we do in the beginning. These are really, really useful for just kind of getting this whole area in, connected to the JO. Good. That's it, Adrian. Nice. It should also feel much easier as well. It shouldn't feel kind of heavy. It should feel quite nice. Yeah, good. Very nice. Nice. Good. H. O. H. That's it. Okay, good. And now just work with that whole sequence, so 1 through 12. Just work through it now. So just from the beginning, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then back into combine 12. And you should basically start where you should end where you start, basically. So you should be on kind of the same spot. And just come back in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 7, 8, H, O, H, us, O, sh, yeah. Nice, nice. Very nice. Great. Okay, so we'll go a little bit further. So just working basically with the 6 count kata. So you're working from position 12. Now comes here 13, 14, 15, 16 back, 17 in for the Garangaishi, and then now to 18. Comes this way. So just working basically with the 6 count. Starts in Skikamai. You say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you do it in terms of the kata, it is 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. See? That's that. Whoosh. Good. Okay, good. And because most of us know this movement by heart, you can really mobilize this idea of the center being the kind of mobilizer for it. Most of us kind of just don't even think about doing this. So really think about doing this sequence. So really just see if you can have the sense that the center is really mobilizing everything through. Mobilize everything. Center. Center. The main thing I want to avoid in this case is like the joke does the movement. Everything's actually frontal and happening out of me, but really think that it's coming out into the jaw. So really try and motivate the movement from the center, which is basically the key thing we do. Yeah. Nice. Nice. That's it. Oh. Whoosh. Nice. Great. Okay. Good. So try and cover the whole kata a little bit. So we're going to start now from this position, number 18. We're going to just now do this low part. So you do this down to the knee, down, all the way down to the knee, thrusting up, and then coming back. Just stick to that sequence. You go from 18, 19 to low, 20 low, down to the knee, 21, 22 coming up high, and then 23 coming to the come on. It starts here in 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. If you've got a hardish floor, you don't want to bring the knee down. There's another form you can do when you do outside. You basically this. So I bring the body down, but I don't bring the knee down. Then come back. Then come this way. So use this form if I'm outside on gravel. Don't want to bring the knee down. If you can, bring the whole body down. Yeah. The main problem in this is the loss of the vertical. So because everything goes down, what tends to happen is this. So the body does a kind of, but in this case, think as you go down, you basically maintain the vertical through the movement. So even though you go down, you don't really compromise this vertical. So think that this is the key, is that the upper body is not really doing the movement, but it's actually it's a change I make in the hip. So when you go down lower, really feel that the hip's going to make the change. Here the hip makes the change, but the body's basically maintaining this kind of vertical. Yes. Feel that the hip makes the change, not the upper body. This. Just see if you can basically maintain the vertical. Better. That's it, good. So much better. Good. Okay, we'll do the last section. We'll try and cover it all. It might be a bit too much, but we're going to go from here. You thrust in 1, thrust in 2, roll back. You block now to the back, so the body goes back. Block low, thrust up, roll back into the kamae, and then you finish with a ski, yoko minuchi, and that's the end of the form. So you finish. We're just going to start on our left side. Goes here 24, 25, 26 back, 27 block, 28 high, 29, 30, 31. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Good. H. So. Good. Great. Okay, good. And there's a really interesting quality in these movements when you go, you make this block move. So these first two, thrusting forward, and then you draw the body back, and then here you draw the body back, and it's like I make the body really small. So the body comes back and makes the body quite small. And then from this position, I think like a kind of cornered animal. You kind of come through, and then from here you spring back out, and you roll back. And then the last two movements also have a kind of really advancing. So there's a kind of hidden part when you become very small. And it's a kind of trap. When you roll back, become small, and then you explode out from this position. There. And you roll back, and then you explode out. It's got a nice kind of quality, these last sequence. Become small. Become small. Explode out. Okay. That's it. Good. Nice. Good. Very nice. Good. Great. Okay, good. So we'll try just the whole form. We'll try a few kind of together. So just kind of follow my count. We'll probably do about 3 counts fully, and we'll do them nice and slow, really full concentration. So we'll just do them together. Just kind of follow this up, nice and slow. Again, really working on this kind of stillness to motion. So really find the middle of each posture. So it goes from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we go 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. And then back into the yoga mat. Good, and then again. So nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Back. And we'll just do one more. So. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. And back. Okay, good. We'll stop there. This is a 31 count kata. Very nice practice. So, はい。どうもありがとうございました。
どうも。ありがとうございました。
Alright, good. Boy, it's very hot in here.